and the Daily Derringer Podcast.
All right, so here's the good thing about podcasts. Today, that we're recording this, is January 20th. It's Blue Monday. It's a pretty good chance that you'll be hearing on a day that isn't Blue Monday. Mm-hmm. So with any luck, that's already happened, and most importantly, you made it through the day.
Do you feel that way about January? Like, to me, it's just chewing up the days. Like, it's like this morning I'm driving, like, it's January 20th. Like, we're 20 days through. It's like a prison sentence almost.
1 year from today will be a presidential inauguration in the United States.
Really?
Yes, indeed, there will be. Today, it's an election year, Martin Luther King Day in the States today. And then the 20th of January next year, there will either be 4 more years of the current president or there'll be somebody new in office. Okay, question for you. One, with what is happening with Ontario schools, 4 boards involved, rotating strikes this week. When you were a child and you knew there was a day off, would you be remotely interested in going to the Science Centre or the Royal Ontario Museum?
I'm just not wired that way. There's no chance I was doing that as a kid. And there's no chance my kids would want to do that. And no offense to them, great place to go, and I'm sure there are the few people. But all I want to do was, like, watch the Flintstones. Maybe, like, Leave It to Beaver was on at noon. Remember?
You notice how often we refer to TV shows that we remember as kids that were only on during school hours.
Absolutely.
Like,
Price is Right.
How did anyone ever see The Price is Right?
I don't know. Because I guess when you were sick.
It goes to show that every day that you weren't at school, you were at home watching TV.
Yes, and you're like, this is daytime television. Like, I never get to see this, right? You and your buddies get together and watch Y&R or something.
Yesterday was one of those rare days because we had a busy day on Saturday, and yesterday, as a family, I will say we did next to nothing.
It's the best.
And once in a while, you got to do those days. Like, I could spend every day doing nothing. If you gave me a computer, a decent chair, and a really good internet connection, I would never leave the house.
Do you guys ever feel like sometimes when people talk about retirement and stuff like that, and everyone's like, oh, you know, after like a month, you're like, no, you know, I got to go and get a hobby. And I'm like, I always say yes to people, like, oh, I know, eh? But I don't ever think that.
I would love to have something I was that into. Like that into that I couldn't wait to get out and do. One thing I'm enjoying, and I know that's something you do with your kids, is we did take a break from the house yesterday. My 2 youngest daughters and I went skating, which we enjoy doing, and I'm happy to be back on skates. You do notice some things, though, in public skates. And I'll give you a couple of the characters that you see at any public skate. And this is in Aurora, mostly families, a lot of kids. I'm going to say there were 60 people on the ice. And just about everybody played by the rules of public skating, right? But you have a couple of guys that I've noticed now, because we've done this quite a bit over this winter, that are at every public skate. One is the guy who is in his late 50s. He's always by himself. They all skate the exact same way with the big loping strides, and they just want everybody to see how well they can still skate.
I know the guy you're talking about.
The guy, my daughter even said to me, she said, did you see that guy who skated fast the entire time? And I said, yeah. She said, he never smiled. I said, no, that guy doesn't smile.
Serious.
That guy is there to show everyone else, I still got it.
He wants to be seen.
I could still play in the show.
You know what? He's probably got in his head some reason why he never got there. Coach, something, right?
A guy who looks like he's actually depressed being out there.
Yeah. See the kind of guy that wants you to ask him a question about skating?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, like, how do you dig in so great? Yeah. How do you get those edges?
Yeah.
See the guy that also makes a big snow stop as well?
I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't see it. Yeah. Now, the flip side as a younger guy, I saw, I'm going to say late 20s, first child. He and his wife and the first child. This guy is dressed like a Norwegian biathlete. Okay, he has got all the gear to look very Euro on the ice. He doesn't want to look North American. He wants to look Euro. Like the Lycra pants, couple sizes too small.
Yes.
Don't need to see the egg box, buddy. Not interested. The way he was with his kid, he kept on holding the kid up by the arm, like grabbing him up by the arm. This guy is known as, I want my kid to be a hockey star by the time he's 3.
You see a lot of those.
And this kid just wants nothing to do with it, right? So he keeps grabbing the kid by the arm, the way you might pull up a dog's chew toy, by the rope part, and this poor kid's like, man, I want to be anywhere else on earth but here.
Sounds like his pants are too tight to bend over to pick up his kids, so
Yeah.
I'll just grab them. I love the guys, because I'm at the rink all the time, and I see the odd family skates and stuff like that, and I love the guy who's in his jeans. His skates are like, they got dust on them, and he's like, my kids want to go skating, so here I am.
Right? You basically described me.
Yeah, right. But that's a guy, because I'm the same. Like, I go to the, I don't skate very often, so when I do, it's tough. I also love the guys that throw on like a jersey, like a Wayne Gretzky St. Louis Blues jersey with like a turtleneck underneath, and they're like, I'm just out here doing my thing.
And he can't wait for somebody to come up to him, as they invariably will, and say, Gretzky played for St. Louis?
That's right. Now, what I'm interested, because I find this conversation fascinating. Johnny Garbett doesn't skate. He's never played hockey. He's never skated. But you've got a 1-year-old, and maybe that is something that she'd be interested in doing. Will you just go up for a public skate? Will you take lessons beforehand?
I think I just show up and just go.
Just go in
I
cold?
think I kind of get it. I used to rollerblade, so I think I kind of get it. But I'm dreading the day because it will happen. There's no way I'm looking like your buddy there, the late 50s guy. There's no way. But I know not to wear Lycra pants. But it's going to be a first date on the ice.
Don't do
for
that.
both me and the 3-year-old Olivia.
You can learn together then.
100%.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too, trying to teach kids how to skate, because my daughters keep asking me, like, how do you stop? Because they're having trouble with stopping. And I said, yeah, honestly, I don't know.
I know.
Like, I know, like, I guess the only way I can explain it is the old saying, like riding a bicycle. Skating is the same way, right? I haven't skated in probably 5 years up until this point. I've gone a lot of 5 and 3 year increments over the years without skating. And I said, I know how to stop. Not particularly well, but I know how to stop. I have zero idea how to teach you to do it.
Because you try, you're like, you shift your weight, and you kind of, it's just a feel thing. And I think at least when they're little or like smaller, like not like adult size in weight, they're going to fall a bunch of times. And you realize, you just get back up and you just keep doing it. And then one day you're just going to be like, click, it happens. And I tell you, with all these strikes, that's something more I would want to do with my kids. Go for a public skate, then go to some museums and stuff like that.
Because that's what your kids would actually go too.
Yeah, I guess that's part of it as well. But I just think that's like a nice family bonding. That's like one of my favorite things to do with family.
Well, but it also goes to what we're seeing with both sides are banking on people having an opinion on these strikes, right? And I think for the most part, if you're engaged in it at all, you probably have an opinion. I don't hear many people who think it's like exactly even for both sides. So regardless of what your opinion may be, that's the pressure that comes with strikes, and that's why they strike in January and not in June. But there are some people who are just natural-born teachers. There are lots of people, for instance, in our business, and there may be in your business as well, who aren't particularly good at the craft, but they're very good at teaching other people how to do it. There are, conversely, lots of people who are really good at broadcasting who would have no clue of how to teach someone else to do it. I would consider myself one of them. I'd have no idea.
Oh, after the first day of school, I'd run out of material. I don't know, you just talk. I'm with you. I wouldn't know how to tell them to do it.
And you also have to not get aggravated by a lack of progress, right? It's one thing. It's so much different when it's your own kids. I think most of us have an infinite capacity for patience, or pretty close to infinite when it comes to our own children, because they're our kids. It's like, I will change my kids' diapers. I'm not changing anyone else's, right?
Fact.
There are people who change other people's diapers. Well, good for them. And the same thing with teaching. Like, our kids hate my little history lessons so much, they are totally tuned out now.
Yeah,
so
right.
I go, obviously, I'm not getting through to them. As soon as I bring up anything about the war.
Yes, no.
Here he goes again. Oh, when's he gonna shut up? He's making me insane, and he's my father. That's pretty well it.
You're not making the connection with them with that.
If it didn't happen in the last week, they're not interested.
And it's tough because when you love something.
Well, and now I'm going to take them to the Royal Ontario Museum for stuff that happened 4 million years ago. Look at that amoeba.
But this makes me feel good because honestly, I feel like sometimes you feel like a bad parent. You asked this the other day off air. You said, Johnny, like, do you ever think that you're a bad parent, so to speak, in a roundabout way? And I think, of course you do,
every day,
right? And so when you hear other people talk about that, because I just know I'm not one to drive to Toronto and drop my kid off at a museum, and I know they're not going to want to do it.
Do you have the slightest inclination to spend 5 minutes with anyone who truly believes they are an excellent parent?
Yeah, exactly. No,
I don't.
I know.
No. There's
Be
enough of
honest.
them
It's
online.
hard.
Yeah,
man.
it's hard.
And there's enough of them. You see them on Instagram. They're out there. There are people who think they are.
Yeah,
Right.
and I guess they think
And
that
I
by
could-
posting all these
Sure.
pictures that people will think,
Absolutely.
yeah, but they have such a perfect life.
But hopefully we all know as adults, like there's a good chance they're at home and they're just like us. Like trying to get your kid out of the door, sometimes it takes forever. And you yell and you get mad. And then when you hear another parent do that to their kid, you're like, okay, good. We're not alone over here, right?
Well, we see with the amount of traffic early in the morning that there are a lot of people who leave very early for work. I can tell you one thing. People say, what's it like to get up at 3:30 in the morning? You guys are up at 3. I say not once have I had to be at home when the kids are getting ready for school. I'm good with 3:30 a.m.
It sounds like chaos.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
My wife texts me like at least a couple times a week, just to vent, and I get it. She just wants you to know her, like get it out there, like it's been a nightmare here. It's because they don't want to go, and I guess I don't know. Maybe there's the odd kid out there that really likes school. I just don't find too many of them.
We don't have those kids.
No chance. No. So I don't know. I guess I don't know what else to do to fill your day with these teacher strikes because today is Monday the 20th, and then it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right?
And I also feel that like with the one day sort of thing with different boards, like they're really kind of throwing balls at the wall, right? Like you don't know if they said they were going on strike and you had a 2-week strike, at least you could really plan for that. To get somebody to like watch your kid for one day, I think is harder than getting somebody to commit for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and there are kids, some have kid in high school in one board, kid in elementary school in another board, maybe
Yes.
one with special needs, whatever the case may be, that it just doesn't all fall into perfectly formed slots.
But with all this money, and this is probably like I don't know, but I don't get it. Like if they're spending all this money, if it's like $60 million every day that kids are going to school, and they want $90 million, like how can they not figure this out? Like it sounds like it's the kids that are trying to.
But it's
organize
also
it.
just not money either, right? Because I have teachers in my family that I talk to regularly, and it's not just about money. It's also about class sizing and getting rid of all-day senior kindergarten and junior kindergarten, right? But for somebody like me, who's Olivia in 2 or 3 years is going to be doing that, I would like her to go to all-day kindergarten and all-day junior kindergarten. So I do have a vested interest in this, but it's not just about the money. Just for the record.
No, and that's why it's taking so long, I guess. I don't know.
Union man. Maybe we should start a union here, Johnny. It won't just be about the money.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, it's all right. No, it should be about working hours and conditions. And no matter what, I'll never cross a picket line, and you'll never call me scab. Okay? I'll never be a scab.
Johnny's in solidarity with the union.
That's it. That's
hey,
it.
Johnny's
the
the
pin.
man.
Listen,
Gee, and I never would have guessed Johnny got that opinion from 3 teachers.
You give me a steel drum, I'll stand outside and light that on fire.
Well, I was over in Stephen Lecce's place this weekend, and he said it was totally different. Look, they want to put enough pressure that eventually you just say, end it. I don't care.
And that's it.
I don't care.
People are too busy with their own life, right?
But the teachers have the one thing that's needed. Teachers.
Yes.
They need teachers.
And you can't help but think of it like my kids go to school and the teachers are awesome. Like I've got to know them and they've been at the same school for years, and one teacher's taught like all my kids and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you just get to the point where like, I don't want to upset anyone. I just want everyone to be happy and go to school, and then we don't have to worry about these strikes. Because man, I feel sorry for people who are both working and you're running around and you got to make this work. And then you talk about these other options that are out there potentially. Yeah, it might work for you, but it also costs money.
Well, it may not be as easy because we flippantly say, well, you just take a week out, take a day off work, and then you take another day off work. Well, you may not be able to do that. You may be hanging on to your job by a thread, and the last thing you want to do is take 7 consecutive Tuesdays off.
Your boss might be sympathetic, but at some point they're like, you're not here, right? It's a tough situation. Hopefully it'll be, well, I don't know, Johnny, you can let us know. When
Well, Johnny, you'll give us the union's you'll give us the union's opinion on
Yeah,
that.
I'm just saying it's just not all about money. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Tough one, man.